Guys, welcome to the channel. Dude, I'm kind of psyched about this one. Justice Hunter is finally here. Why I say this is good, because you're probably thinking, Manny, what are you talking about? Now we have to deal with K9, Dracotail, and Yummy, and you're saying you're excited about this? Listen, there's a very, very important detail in everything that I'm going to say. Okay, I'm just gonna say how it is. Duel is possibly not gonna be in the format as prominent as it was last format, and that's a big fucking, how do I say, it's a big deal, right? So we as White Forest literally curl up in a ball, cry and cringe every time somebody drolls us. But enough said about droll. We're not here to vent about droll. We do that every day. I'm gonna give you guys a deck profile post Justice Hunters, because it's gonna be really important in the cards you need to draw to play against these decks. And you guys know, basically gonna be turn 0 format. K9 is gonna be in the space. Dracotail does have the turn zero plays. The reason why I say it's turn 0 is because it's almost anonymous. The K9 Vanquish Soul is going to be the best deck, so we're going to be running a heavy amount of cards to counteract the gameplay that Vanquish Soul K9 does have against you. Again, Dracotail does the same thing, and Yummy is another breed apart, but we have something. Really, Yummy isn't going to be that much of a deterrent, because one of the things this deck has that it's extremely good at against small interruptions like targeted negates or pops, because how easily it extends. We can't play through Droll. Puerto is going to be in the format, which is another thing that I'm going to talk about. And while making this deck, I was in high consideration of making a Fiendsmith version, because these last 2 weeks I've been playing a lot of the deck against the best, not the best decks, but against the decks post Justice Hunters. And I realized a lot that the reason why they do run the Fiendsmith engine, even though it's crippled, it's because Puerto is a very heavy card against this deck, even more times than Droll sometimes, because Droll at the end of the day does self-mill you, but Puerto just gives you a card and your opponent can still play on a like 6-card hand. And that's very, very important in this format, especially against Vanquish Soul, because they do need those cards in their hand to actually resolve their effects. But no further ado, I'll talk about more details as I give you guys the deck list. Guys, if you haven't, please subscribe. Please like the video. I would really greatly appreciate it. To the boys that want me to do gameplay videos, I will. But the problem is I wanted to give you like actual, I wanted to do it live. I don't want to do none of that simulator dueling bug EDH Pro Master Duel. Master Duel is another monster. But I wanted to give you guys, I wanted to wait to Justice Hunter when everybody at locals personally have their cards, so I can actually play to give you guys like gameplay with White Forest, because the meta was going to change and a lot of people were requesting like last month. And why would you have gameplay? Maybe the intricate, I'm talking about the intricate combos, because the smaller combos, I really do have videos for that. You guys check out my old videos. But yeah, like exactly playing against a Vanquish Soul matchup is a little like a different monster, by the way. Like, you guys have to understand that. But let's get right to it. This is a 46 card main deck. You can skim it down to 42. And 42 is my rule when I build White Forest, because this deck runs like a shit ton of 1-ofs, and I really do not like drawing into those 1-ofs. Not because they're bad, but because it lowers the likelihood of you drawing port breakers and hand traps. So I want to have like a good mixture of cards. So like 42 is like the sweet spot. I know 40 people have had success with 40, but that's with a very defined format where, you know, there's cards you're never gonna need, like Morgan, for example, where you just came out all those cards. But until the meta is more defined, I'm just gonna run from 46 cards, and the least important cards I'll just cut later, right? So let's just get it started. Let's go. I'm gonna start with the girl herself. It's Sylvie. Guys, you're never gonna cut this at any less than 3. This card's like the most important card, right? It's nothing much to say about this. There's going to be some interactions when they play turn 0, but I think this is very dependent on how much your opponent knows how to play against Wood Forest. If they understand they have to pop or interact with the Sylvie before you extending, because if you do get the spell card, if you get bro, why am I forgetting this? If you do get tails and your opponent wants to actually pop your Sylvie with Vanquish Souls, or not really K9 cards, because you have to like, that's another explanation apart, because K9 has to actually resolve the Lupus, so they actually have an interaction. But again, that's another thing. But if they want to like pop your Sylvie like with Vanquish Soul cards, they could, player that understand how this deck works is gonna try to have to want to hit this if you search tails. But we have to run cards that actually help you play against those very menacing pops, because you guys understand if they destroy Sylvie, level 2s don't get you anywhere, especially if you search tails. You would have to search field spell cards, and some people are just opting to search field spell card right off the bat, even before Justice Hunters, because it just plays really well against hand traps in general. But we played 3 LZ. This is like best girl. One Azamina LZ. Seen a lot of players playing this in the OCG too, but I think they're just skimming that at 1. They'd rather just have the space for like board breakers, because it's basically a board breaker format. And the reason it's a board breaker format is, not counting mulch armies, is because it's gonna be like a back and forth format. When you have a lot, the best deck is gonna be interacting with you turn 0. There's no way in hell you're going to AFTK your opponent, by even with the best strategy, because they're gonna Dryden pop you, steal your monster, which is one of the worst cards, the worst interactions you can have as a player turn 1. You can't do anything with that monster. So it's better to play like this back and forth Yu-Gi-Oh, which OCG players love doing anyways. So I ran cards like a Stellar to give you like grind game. A lot of people are cutting this also in the OCG, but I've seen people like put it on and off recently. So I guess this card's really good. We play cards like Droplets that help you discard this, and discarding this is like really good. Like her hiding in your graveyard is like, it's not really a surprise, but when you play cost and a Stellar comes out as an extender when your monsters get popped, etc., this is really good. And the same could be said about Rusia, because say for example you go Sylvie into LZ and they interact with you here, you can find a way to go Stellar and then Rusia, or you can go find a way to go LZ into Rusia. See, so you have like a lot of combination of the cards, so we can still play if you go like your main line is Sylvie. So that's why I'm running it. That's it. Well, of course, for the spells, 3 Witch of the White Forest. Dude, I recently saw a build where they were playing one of this, but it was with Fiendsmith, and I kind of was cooking a little bit when Fiendsmith came out along with this deck too, because we do have full power Fiendsmith and full power Sinful spoils like Wanted and Diabolical Star Engine, and they do run that same exact verbatim engine that I was running. I think I have a deck list which is 1 field spell card. It was full. It was with Fiendsmith, but it wasn't focused around this because this locks you. But it was more focused on the Azamina card. So you only ran one of this when you resolve like your whole White Forest engine. So you can search Diabol's White Witch, then One Tails for magic, and the last card is Woes. The reason I'm not running Rose, I'm running Morgan, and the reason is because, like I said, it's a back and forth format. So Woes essentially is going to do the same thing Morgan does. Of course, it needs more setup, but this gets you follow up, which is really important. That's what you want. You want the follow up in the form of anything. It could be like a Stellar, or because you're going to be bringing it back a level 2, or LZ Azamina to synchro into to synchro off and search you Wanted if you need it for the follow up. So it's really good. And 1 Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. There was in some situations where this card S2 is really good, but it was the same thought process about your cards getting popped mid turn 0, because this helps you like extend your plays, because this just straight up summons another monster from your hand. But it was just like a small theory, because I was more often than not in a situation where I wanted to play another Sinful Spoils card, and Morgan just felt way too subpar, right? Especially against Yummy, because it really doesn't do anything. They unless they draw like a very shitty hand. Um, but running two of this like seemed fine, but that was like in testing. It's still a good card to have a one. You always run one. What is what I'm trying to say. And then the Diabell Star cards. These cards are just cracked. If you're here watching White Forest deck profile, you know what these cards do. Should not have to explain this. These cards. I want to say something though. The way I built this deck, Luna Knight is gonna be a monster against you, or it's gonna be a little bit. I'm saying pre-side deck is gonna be a little bit hard to deal against them, but I do run Psychic and Punisher in my main deck for that sense, because I don't want to like auto lose to Luna Knight, and yeah, it's very important that you can resolve Vengeance, so your when you do resolve Psychic and Punisher, it goes on the field unaffected. You have lots of ways to bait out the Raigeki, unless they go double Raigeki, but if they go double Liger, I think that's the worst spot. They really have to know how to play against you. This is one of these decks' strength is that a lot of people just don't know where to pop what you're running in the extra deck. Cause I don't even know what I'm running in my extra deck. That's kind of funny, right? Dude, I promise you, I put Jurago, take that shit out. Put Fiendsmith, not Fiendsmith, because that changes the deck entirely. I put Doom Dragon to take that shit out. Put SP, take that shit out. Like, people don't necessarily know what they're running, what you're running in the extra deck, unless it's like a very high competitive, not even at the regionals. Like if you're going into YCS, people know your deck list, because people just seen you play a lot. Then your extra deck is basically like one of the most important surprise factors you have. But yeah, we play a Wanted engine, and I am playing. Of course, this is whatever. Deception with Hollow Azamina, but I am playing the quick play spell too. I do want to resolve Azamina, and again, this is like what I was saying. The back and forth is going to be a grindy format. You're not just gonna get FTK'd. You're gonna get like Paradise Smashers, pull some hairs out of your head. But you're gonna see my hand traps in a second, which are actually built for that. But yeah, Deader is a good card, because it helps you go into the Azamina engine, which again is good against Luna Lane. Helps you spit out your Omni Negate before you actually play. So this card's really good. OCG was playing that very frequently. Like some of the deck lists that don't play it are the ones that play it at like a 40 count. So if you're playing one with 40, that's one of the first cards you're adding. And then maxing out on Molcharmies or maxing out on Ash, because bro, yeah, I don't want to play against Molcharmies. That's literally just it. But this card is good against Yumi, because it stops surprise search, which is really bad against your deck. Because you hit the Cupsy. But other than that, I think it's a little bit mid. So you're just running at the Molcharmies. Plus, it's a monster for Deception fodder. There's no reason to not running. And last but not least, I'm running 3 Imprint. Bro, it's literally for Paradise Smashers. Don't want to get FTK'd until they do the battle list. I'm trying to play these cards. You can run Droll, but a lot of people just shift that out of Droll, because the decks now just literally play through Droll. By the way, like it's no fucking business. So you just side that shit. That means you can't play Nobleman or Crossout against other people's Droll, but people playing Droll is gonna simmer down. Don't worry, that's like what I said at the beginning. So you're not having to deal with that card unless a deck is playing like 18 hand traps, for example, where Droll is like the second to best option. It's still a good card, but yeah. And then when Called by the Grave, before I talk about the rest of the non-engine, we're taking playing hand traps, but we're playing the hand traps that you at this format you have to like. Dude, Perulia, you can literally pitch it on your turn if you know you're playing against Vanquish Soul, so they leave you alone, bro. You literally sign an agreement with it and tell them play your cards during your turn, okay? Thank you. So Perulia is like a card of its own. This is basically a slash board breaker. You run both, and again, these are gonna be good because when you move charm your opponent and they make a half board, they try to interact with you with a half board, and you talent them or you thrust them and like get your like search through your whole deck, like you're winning that hard. I'm not running three thrust, so I'm playing talents, and you actually have to get interacted on for these cards to resolve. So I don't want multiple of them. I do run the third one of this side deck, but it's get cards like Dimensional Barrier, right? And one Foolish Burial Goods. I am running one because I'm running two of this. I just search it when I need to, because that makes Thrust a starter, and I'm not running Terraforming. It's not that it's mid, but this card just turns into discard black Ghost Laughs, so you have to deal with cards with like Detonator, which by the way still in the format, so fuck that shit. Yeah, and then last but not least, 3 droplets. And this card is almost in all the White Forest deck profiles, so this is like the card to go. So there's some deck lists that are running Super Poly. And by the way, Super Poly is a crazy card. It's a really good card, but until the format is almost set in stone, the problem about Super Poly is that you have to know which, you can't run 6 Super Poly targets, so you have to know if you're fitting in cards like Deactress, the Super Poly target they use against Malice, fuck, I forgot the name, Garura, Mud Dragon. So Super Poly is only good, or like its strength is contingent upon how well the format is set upon, so you can actually run the correct targets. So I'm not doing that. I want to know like what are the correct decks. But I guess if you're playing in locals and you know for absolute fact you're going against, for example, Malice, and you can run Super Poly because you could run the Malice one and then run the generic Super Poly targets. But yeah, let's go into the side deck first. That's the main deck, by the way. It's 46 cards if I'm not mistaken. Let's go into the side deck because there's something really important I want to say before I go ahead into anything. I run this Chaos Hunter. I was running like triple of this and triple of this before Justice Hunters came out because of Luna Knight. But this isn't Chaos Hunter. This is Ceremonial Bell. I'll put up the picture. Boop, it's right there. Ceremonial Bell. That card is searchable, and I need to test it out to see if it's better at 3 or at 1. But this card, there's White Forest players are just citing it because how good that card is. Because it literally says verbatim, both players play with their hand revealed. What that means is your Vanquish players / Canine players are just gonna throw themselves in a hole, bro, and cry the same way you cry when they droll you. So that's really good. So if Vanquish Soul is the best deck, you can like search that turn 1, and then they can't really break your board with their fucking engine cards. But at 3 is really good because then you could use it as a board breaker. You can normal summon it, and this deck is really good at playing without a normal summon. Sometimes it's basically, how do I say, it's an extra, not an extra, but with a 6-card hand, you can definitely you can play without your normal summon, especially if you have cards like Feel and Ilzet. So normal summon Ceremonial Bell against a deck that is literally just auto win sounds really good, right? So yeah, this is supposed to be Ceremonial Bell, then 3 Alliance because Malice. Still gonna find that. Joel, because it's still good against me to Ruiz. No reason not running inside. Nibiru. I wanted to add a hand trap. It had to be a hand trap. It couldn't be a board breaker because we were playing like a shit ton of board breakers already in main deck. That just checked my opponent well through the Mole Charmies, and I had Imperm too. So if you go like Perula, Imperm, and Nibiru, like there's very high chance that your opponent doesn't like FTK you on the spot if you're going to like full combo decks like Mermail, for example. So it's like the best tool assurance for going second, other than board breakers. Which, by the way, Dark Lula No More is crazy. It's crazy, but Yummy, like your deck is already good against small pops. So I'm not too worried about Yummy. If I have to break Yummy's full engine or just engine with my own full engine, it's possible, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't need like sided cards to combat Yumi entirely. I'm running one Snake Eyes Subversion because there's cards like shit, I forgot the name, Bagushka. So you have to get rid of that card because that card is like, I am running SP, like, of course, but sometimes it's just really hard to get rid of that card, and I'm just running a main deck card to search, and Thrust can search this, so it's like really good. One Desiccator from when I'm going first, and I do have Droll, in the side deck, so I could just do Wolf right because people are absolutely gonna side troll against you. Don't get it twisted. And then one thrust, one harpy, so thruster, and one barrier. I only run one of this because you can just recycle it back with Diabell's synchro. I didn't feel the need to add cards like Sanctum, what's it called? Like other settable cards that are just side deck material, because I feel like this is one is enough, especially in this format. Like it hits Ryzeal, it hits Vanquish Soul, it hits Yummy, it hits a Draco Tail. Like it hits the best decks is what I'm trying to say. Like this one is enough, and even at the very least, you're hitting majority of their engine. So when you give their turn back to them, it's gonna be easy to deal with their board, especially since you're playing White Forest. You're gonna have like 12 interruptions stacked anyways, so it doesn't actually matter. And then for the extra deck is kind of cookie cutter, but I'm still gonna show it to you. It's a White Forest ones, right? Chaos Angel, once Snake Eyes Vengeance. Oh, by the way, this is I want. Let me see if I have it here. I'm gonna show it to you guys. We're gonna do it live because I just want you to see this card, because a lot of people are running this in the OCG. Let's see if I have it here. God bless it right here. Okay, so let's talk about this card because this card is really good. A lot of people are cutting Snake Eyes for this. I mean, not necessarily cutting, but this is one of the best targets to drop with Poplar. Actually, I think I've seen people cut this up. They do run this. Maybe it's full power comes if you're playing like Fiend Smith along with it, because this recycles Lunar and the Graveyard effect. But this card's really, it's like crazy good. Because its interruption is basically stealing your opponent's monster. That's really good. Because in 2025 Yu-Gi-Oh, your opponent stealing his monster and then not able to do anything with it is really good, and it's a really good OTK tool. But yeah, let's talk about that. But one Vengeance and then one Psychic and Punisher, like I said, for the Lunalight matchup, because I really don't want to lose against that. Game one again. Lunalight is really good against the format right now, in the sense that your opponent has to side against it to kill it. Like, at least we have engine to kill it through a pop, but if they go double Liger, it's like almost impossible, because double Liger SP is like their main board if they're uninterrupted. We can deal with Bagushka Liger with like full engine. Let's say we draw like our own whole engine to interact with. So because we are playing as Amina, just a quick little spoiler. So we have both ways to get rid of it. But the reason why this is really good is because, of course, you're playing the board breaker part of this deck, but it's almost like the Liger theory. This card is like really hard to get rid of because it can't be destroyed by card effects, and apart from obviously not being unaffected by your opponent's card effect, like destruction, protection is like crazy good. So like this is why this deck is really good, is because Diabell's engine Vengeance plus Diabell's White Witch prevents popping, so that's why it's really good. The same goes for this one. But yeah, this card's just really good breaking boards, and again, we're playing as Amina and the whole squad. I took out Chimera, and the reason why, it's not that Chimera is a win more. The only way you resolve Chimera before this is that it's because you're literally losing. You're like in a very grinding spot where you have to like go discard 2 hand traps, for example, like very useless cards. But if you're full comboing, your quick play is always going to be this, because if this stays, it's like the best recursive tool, and one of the best recursive tools in your deck, because this will re-add your wanted engine. One Chorozo, because I am not losing when I draw just wanted, and one SP Little Knight to play against Nibiru, because Nibiru is in the back in the format, and I'm telling you, like, if the deck that's being played can run more than 6 hand traps, for example, because everybody's running 6 more Charmies, but if it's like Ryzeal, for example, they're playing Nibiru, bro. Like, you have to play this. So if your opponent's only interaction is like for Nibiru, and you can fucking smell that shit from a mile away, you literally think you're interrupted, but they're holding Nibiru. So just some of this play good and it's one of the best tools in your deck. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna show you any combos because there's really nothing different that you're gonna be doing. It's just gonna be like doing the same white force shit. But I'm gonna give you guys gameplay at the end of this week because everybody in locals is gonna have the deck. So we'll see that through, guys. Again, thank you for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe, like the video, and I want to do a Fiendsmith version. I'll come back with you with that, guys, because Puerto is gonna be very prominent in this format, and Fiendsmith might be actually good. You heard it from me. I'm probably gonna cut that out. Not really. Listen, I don't know why I'm a Fiendsmith hater. I have no idea. Maybe it's because I draw the trap every single time I play that engine. Well, whatever. Again, guys, thank you for watching the video. Love you guys, and peace.